Have you ever felt the air shift in a room before anyone speaks? Or sensed someone's presence before they even arrived? What if I told you that wasn't your imagination? That was energy. Real, subtle, powerful, and more manipulable than you've been led to believe. Type this in the comments right now. I can feel energy even when no one speaks. If you've ever had a moment like that, welcome. You're not alone, and you're not crazy. You're awakening. Now, before this knowledge gets buried again, hit that like button to keep this ancient wisdom alive. It's not just a click. It's a signal to the unseen forces that you're ready to remember. There's something they don't want you to know. Energy manipulation is real, not in a fantasy way, in a way that can shift your mood, your thoughts, your luck, even your reality. But here's the strange part. This isn't new. It's ancient, passed through whispers in temples, encoded in symbols, lost to time, and now resurfacing. Because the world is waking up. This isn't about crystals or spells or pretending. This is about understanding that you are a field of energy, and that every emotion, every word, every intention, you project it, receive it, and mold the world with it. But if you don't learn how to control it, someone else will. In this video, I'm going to guide you through the hidden laws of energy. Not the watered-down, overused cliches, but the actual blueprint taught by ancient mystics, warrior monks, and forgotten civilizations. You'll discover why energy is not just a spiritual concept, but a practical force, one that governs how people treat you, how opportunities find you, and how your life unfolds. We'll explore why this knowledge was erased, who benefits from your ignorance, and how you can reclaim what's rightfully yours. By the end, you won't just understand energy manipulation, you'll feel it. So stay with me. Every second you watch brings you closer to remembering something your soul already knows. This is not entertainment. This is remembrance. And it starts now. Centuries before modern science learned to measure waves and frequencies, the ancients were already working with what we now call energy. Not with machines, but with minds, with breath, with stillness. They understood what most today have forgotten, that the world you see is only the surface, and beneath it a current flows, one that can be felt, guided, even mastered. The earliest references to this hidden force appear not in textbooks, but etched in the bones of lost civilizations. The Egyptians called it Sekhem, the vital force that animated both the gods and man. In India, it was prana, the breath of life that flows through everything. In China, qi, a cosmic life force that can be balanced, cultivated, and even projected. Different names, same essence. They weren't talking about metaphors. They were speaking of a real, manipulable energy that surrounds and permeates all things. In the sacred temples of Tibet, monks practiced a form of energy projection so powerful it could generate heat in sub-zero cold. In the mystery schools of ancient Greece, initiates learned how thoughts could influence matter, how sound could reshape water, how intention could bend the outcome of fate. This wasn't superstition. It was science, so advanced it felt like magic. But then, something happened. This knowledge began to disappear. Empires rose that feared the power of the individual. Religions were codified not to liberate the soul, but to control it. And so energy manipulation became heresy, burned, banned, buried. You see, if people knew how to align their energy, they wouldn't be so easy to manipulate. They wouldn't need permission to heal. They wouldn't beg systems for validation. They would become sovereign, powerful, ungovernable. So the teachings were hidden, passed down in secret, through symbols, rituals, and oral traditions, sometimes disguised as art, sometimes encrypted in stories, but always protected. Because the ancients knew the time would come again when we would need it. That time is now. Why do you think you're drawn to this video? Why does your chest tighten when you hear the word energy spoken like a forgotten truth? Because some part of you remembers. Because this isn't just a concept, it's your birthright. Modern physics now stumbles upon what sages have whispered for ages, that everything is vibration, that the observer shapes the observed, that intention changes outcomes. What they're discovering in labs was already practiced in temples. This isn't fiction. This is a reawakening. We're not introducing something new. We're returning to something ancient. And as we continue, you'll begin to see why you were never taught this in school, never shown this in mainstream media, never told that your thoughts could bend reality. Because energy manipulation is real, and once you see it, once you feel it, you cannot go back. What if I told you? You've been doing it your whole life, unconsciously. Every time you shift the energy in a room, every time you feel drained after being near someone, every time your presence calms or agitates another person, you're not imagining it. You're leaking, absorbing, or projecting energy. And what was once unconscious can become conscious. But first, you must understand how. Think of your energy like a signal tower. You're always broadcasting something, even in silence. The question is, are you aware of what you're sending out and what you're attracting back? Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every word you speak, they all ripple out like frequencies into the field around you. This isn't metaphor. It's physics. Your body is an electromagnetic generator. Your heart radiates a field that extends beyond your skin. Measurable, tangible, felt. This is why some people walk into a room and command it without saying a word, and others, no matter how loudly they speak, are ignored. It's not charm. It's not luck. It's energy. But here's where it gets deeper. Energy manipulation isn't about control in the way you might think. It's not about forcing outcomes or bending others to your will. That's a trap. That's ego. True energy mastery is about alignment, aligning your inner world so precisely that the outer world has no choice but to respond. This is why ancient sages spent years in silence, not to escape the world, but to tune their inner frequencies like instruments of divine resonance. When your thoughts contradict your emotions, when your words betray your beliefs, your signal becomes distorted. But when your mind, your heart, your breath are in harmony, reality begins to shift. This is where the ancients focused their power. The breath to anchor the now, the word to shape vibration, the mind to visualize and direct, the heart to charge it all with emotion. In those forgotten temples, initiates were taught to speak not casually, but deliberately, to breathe not out of habit, but with presence, to visualize not for fantasy, but for manifestation. They knew that energy responds not to what you want, but to what you are. So if you are fearful, you attract fear. If you are chaotic, you invite chaos. But if you are grounded, focused, and clear in intention, you begin to bend reality around your clarity. Let's look at this like tuning a frequency. Your desired reality exists, right now, like a radio station. But you can't hear it unless you're tuned to its signal. Trying harder won't work. Yelling won't work. You have to match it. That's energy manipulation, not force, not hustle. Resonance. This is why affirmations fall flat when said without feeling. Why visualizations don't manifest when they're just fantasy. The frequency has to be real within you first. It's like trying to light a candle with a dead match. The power is in the charge. And the world, your relationships, your opportunities, your emotions, they're all responding not to what you wish, but what you broadcast. You've been conditioned to believe that reality is solid, fixed, that change is slow and hard. But ancient mystics knew the truth. Reality is pliable. Time is not linear, and the field responds faster than you think when the frequency is clean. So ask yourself this: what are you broadcasting today? What thoughts are you looping? What emotions are you charging? What version of yourself are you feeding? This isn't esoteric fluff. This is the architecture of your reality. And now that you're aware, you can begin to build consciously. Now we go deeper into the sacred mechanics of how energy moves, how it responds, and how, once mastered, it becomes the most potent tool in your spiritual arsenal. Let's begin with the truth they'll never teach you in schools. You are a conduit, not just flesh and thought, but a vessel through which energy flows. Everything you do, eat, speak, touch, think, either enhances or disrupts that flow. And if your energy is blocked, chaotic, or leaking, no amount of positive thinking will fix your reality. In ancient Taoist teachings, the human body was mapped like a circuit, channels called meridians, points called chakras. Not just symbolic, but functional. Energy doesn't just swirl in these areas because it sounds poetic. It does so because you are wired to interface with the unseen. Now here's where it becomes mystical and deeply practical. When your solar plexus is tense, you feel powerless. When your throat tightens, you fear speaking your truth. When your third eye pulses, you begin to sense beyond sight. These aren't coincidences. These are signals. Your body knows what your mind has forgotten, that every part of you is designed to receive, transmute, and project energy. The trick is knowing how to listen and how to tune. So why do most people struggle with this? Why does their reality never shift, even when they meditate, journal, or stay positive? Because most are trapped in mental rituals with no energy behind them. Energy manipulation is not about belief. It's about resonance. You don't have to believe in electricity for a lightning bolt to kill you. Likewise, you don't need to believe in energy for it to affect you. It already does. The question is, are you guiding it? Or are you at its mercy? Let's talk about mirrors. Not the ones on your wall, but the kind hidden in people, in situations, in your reactions. Reality is always mirroring your energetic state. If you walk into a room and people ignore you, it may not be them. It may be your own subconscious belief that you're not worth noticing, broadcasting silently through your field. The mystics knew this. That's why their training began not with manifestation techniques, but with purification. Not religious dogma, energetic hygiene. They fasted, not just from food, but from negative thought. They stayed silent, not out of fear, but to listen. They moved slowly, not because they were lazy, but because intention cannot thrive in haste. This is where modern law of attraction teachings miss the mark. You cannot attract what you're not in harmony with. Saying, "I am abundant," while fearing bills does nothing. But shifting your internal frequency to match abundance, by changing your breath, your posture, your inner dialogue. Now that creates movement in the field. Let's touch the edges of a deeper layer now. The paradox of power. The more you try to control with ego, the less control you truly have. Energy doesn't respond to force. It responds to clarity, coherence, and surrender. That's the hidden door. The samurai trained their breath to remain calm in chaos, not because it looked cool, but because breath is energy. The yogi holds a pose not for Instagram, but to reroute the flow of prana through blocked channels. The magician speaks incantations, not as superstition, but to align intention with sound, frequency, and will. This is ancient tech, hidden in plain sight. But it only works when you work, when your presence deepens, when you begin to listen to what your energy is doing right now. Not what you hope for, not what you pretend, but what's real in you. Because energy cannot lie. So start noticing the subtle, the tingling before a thought arises, the heaviness in your chest around certain people, the fatigue after certain habits. These are clues, maps, not symptoms to ignore, but messages to decode. You're not here to chase reality, you're here to command it, not by domination, but by vibration. This is what they never wanted you to know. That you are not powerless. You are pulsing, radiant, alive with current. And once you learn to harness that current, the game changes. Now that the veil has lifted and you understand the force you carry within you, let's ground this knowing into practice. Because energy manipulation without embodiment is like holding lightning in your hands and never striking. It is not enough to know. You must now be. Let's begin where all energy shifts start. Breath. This isn't just oxygen. It's life force, spiritus, prana, chi. The ancients knew. The way you breathe shapes the way energy flows. Shallow breath, shallow power. Deep breath, deep presence. Try this now, wherever you are. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold it for 4. Exhale through your mouth for 6. Do this 3 times. You'll feel your frequency shift, your field soften, your awareness sharpen. This is how we tune the instrument. The next tool, intention-charged presence. Most people move through their day like ghosts, reactive, scattered, unconscious. But when you move through space as if your energy matters, the world responds differently. Try walking into a room and holding your posture like a sovereign being. Not arrogance, awareness. Feel your feet grounded, your spine aligned, your heart open. Say nothing. Just be in that frequency and watch how others adjust to you. This is silent command. Real power speaks without noise. Third, energetic hygiene. You shower your body. But when was the last time you cleansed your field? Energy lingers, especially from others, and if you're empathic, you're absorbing more than you realize. Each night, before you sleep, imagine a sphere of golden light around you. Breathe in, and as you exhale, release all that doesn't belong to you. Thoughts, emotions, even names. Clear them. Say inwardly, I release what is not mine. I reclaim my field. This isn't imagination. It's recalibration. Do this consistently, and you'll begin to feel lighter, clearer, more you. Now, let's go deeper. Intentional energy projection. This is where your will becomes a sculptor of reality. Each morning, sit in stillness for just 5 minutes. Visualize your energy field expanding. Feel it pulsing around you, vivid, alive. Now choose a frequency to embody, not a thought, a state, peace, clarity, confidence. Feel it in your breath, your skin, your bones, then send it out, like a signal, into your space, into your day. You are not begging the universe, you are broadcasting, and the universe, like a divine mirror, will return what you radiate. But be warned, your field will be tested. The moment you raise your frequency, lower energies will surface, old patterns, draining people, inner resistance. This is not failure. This is purification. You must hold your signal anyway, because reality does not shift when you try once. It bends when you persist. Now, the secret practice few speak of, energy recall. Throughout the day, we leak energy, through worry, judgment, distractions. To reclaim it, speak this at the end of your day. I call back all fragments of my energy, across all people, places, and times, returned to me, cleansed and whole. Then sit in silence. Breathe. Receive. You'll feel it, sometimes subtly, sometimes like a wave. This practice alone can restore parts of your soul you didn't know were missing. And finally, service. Yes, service, because energy manipulation, when hoarded, decays. But when shared consciously, it multiplies. Smile at someone with full presence. Speak a kind word without agenda. Offer silent blessings to strangers. These small acts aren't random. They're energetic offerings. And what you give into the field returns with interest. You see now, don't you? This isn't about flashy tricks or psychic powers. It's about reclaiming the subtle realm that shapes everything. You don't need to escape this world to experience magic. You just need to remember how to see it. Take a breath. Let it land. What you've just received is not a collection of tips or spiritual fluff. It's a map. A return to a forgotten language where your very being is the code and reality is the canvas. Let's remember what we've uncovered. You are not just living in an energetic world. You are an energetic being. Every thought, every emotion, every intention echoes far beyond the surface. You are broadcasting, always. The only question is, are you doing it with awareness? You've seen how the ancients didn't chase reality. They aligned with it. They purified the self, not to be holy, but to be clear. They mastered the breath, the word, the posture, the focus, because they knew reality bends not to force, but to frequency. And you've now been handed the same keys, the breath that stabilizes, the posture that speaks before words, the rituals that cleanse, the intention that carves through chaos like a blade of light. These aren't practices to try, they're invitations to remember. Because this power is not new, it's not external, it's ancient, and it has always lived within you. But in a world drunk on distraction, numbed by noise, and addicted to chasing outward validation, this inner power is the first thing forgotten, and the last thing reclaimed. And that's why they never taught you this. Because a society of people who truly know their energetic power cannot be controlled. They cannot be manipulated by fear. They cannot be herded into systems of limitation. They become sovereign, magnetic, unshakable. You are not meant to beg for breadcrumbs from reality. You are meant to command your experience by becoming the frequency of what you desire. So now, feel into this moment. What will you choose to be from this point forward? What will you embody when the doubts return? Because they will. And that's your test. Not to conquer them with force, but to hold your vibration anyway. To breathe through the resistance. To speak as if your words shape worlds. To walk as if the divine flows through your every step. Because it does. Now, leave this space not just informed, but transformed. You've glimpsed what most never see. You've remembered what most never dare to feel. And if this message resonated, if it stirred something ancient within you, type "I reclaim my energy" in the comments below. Let your declaration be seen. Let it echo into the field. And if you felt the shift, don't keep this to yourself. Like the video, share it, and awaken others who are ready to remember. The time of waiting is over. The time of reclaiming has come. And now you know the truth. Energy manipulation is real, and it's yours if you're ready to wield it.